Feros Care presents A Woman's Feeling the Buttons in a Lift.
Once you hit your 60s, you're put out to pasture.
An Ironbark Films production. The woman's holding a white cane.
I live with a degenerative eye disease, and I had such qualms about whether or not I was going to be able to do the job.
The title in white through broken glass on a black screen. Smashing. This episode is called Cate. On screen, Smashing Disability in Aged Care. Cate Williams.
I'm customer acquisition and retention expert. Basically, that is what we try and do. We try to acquire customers and retain them. I don't feel that I had any less for having a vision difference. Knowing that I am going to lose my central vision is not pleasant. I hear things in people's voices, even though I may not be able to see it in their faces and see their body language, even more than I used to.
When you engage with Cate, when I first saw her, she has this
Cate's partner Greg.
thing where you can see that she's listening to everything you say and she's interested in what you're saying.
I'm 64. I sort of got here the hard way. When I was 18, I was involved in a motorcycle accident and was very badly hurt. And back then, PTSD wasn't a thing. And I spent 5 years shutting my house. Then I was diagnosed in my 30s with the degenerative vision difference. And I decided I'd take up drinking at the age of 39. Yeah, challenges. But if you don't have them, you wouldn't recognise in other people things that have changed you.
I read to her just about everything, especially TV subtitles. We watch a lot of foreign movies. I have to make sure that things in the cupboard like coffee and tea and sugar are all back in the same place.
When he doesn't, Greg, where's the such and such?
But yeah, just little tiny things like that you just take for granted. You just make sure that they're in place for her. I support Cate in everything she does 100%.
He drives me all over the place. He reads menus for me in restaurants, little things that make a massive difference. I went back to TAFE and I ended up doing a diploma. And I thought, I'm really interested in this. I really enjoy studying. I'm going to go back to uni. So from that study in uni, I ended up meeting Jenny and was lucky enough to get my placement with her. And at the time, she was doing a PhD in falls prevention in the elderly.
My first impression was just over the phone, and I could just hear this really genuine quality in her voice and an absolute passion for what she wanted to do.
I got to help her produce some of the data, but Jenny asked me if I needed a job, and of course I did. And I was lucky enough to get that job.
She blends very well with people and she has good leadership qualities. She also has the residents' welfare and everything at heart for sure.
Being a volunteer coordinator involved encouraging people to come and volunteer. A lot of the time it was because they had to do something for Centrelink. But when I started to tell them about the work, you could see them seeing the possibilities. If they were suitable, I would onboard them.
Seeing what Cate did is really what inspired me to get back into doing volunteering.
She really throws herself in above and beyond. Things that might have been a little difficult for her, entering data into the computer, that kind of thing, she always just found a way to make it work. She was very solutions focused. She would move mountains to get somewhere on public transport herself. She just made it work.
Just her positive attitude is just awesome. It inspires everyone.
I was a volunteer coordinator for a year, and then I moved into a positive living role. The key role of the positive living team was to give our residents the opportunity to live the best life they could and to get back to things they thought they couldn't do again.
She came up with the brilliant idea of getting audiobooks for them.
Oh, I can't read. Well, let me introduce you to talking books. Oh, I can't do the gardening anymore. You want to make a bet?
Residents gardening.
There was no such thing as not being able to do something.
She'd like to sit and have a chat and she does a bit of knitting. She is a lovely lady and very caring.
Where she might have not been able to do certain things, she could do much more with other things. So we focused on the things she could contribute.
Kate having her hair shaved off.
Working at Woman Bay with the residents was the joy of my life, and it suddenly stopped, which was devastating. I had an unrelated accident. I had to change my focus because I was injured, and I really didn't want to leave, but I didn't have a choice. So I asked, what other jobs are there? And I was lucky enough to get one. I'm enjoying myself even more now, but in a different way. When I did my interview, I thought, I have to be honest and tell them that this will be difficult for me, visually. And they said, oh, what can we do? All of a sudden, I had these people backing me up. What technology would you like? And I've got a huge screen. And then where is the best place in here with the lighting? How about on the end of the table here? And it's got good light coming down plus some natural light.
She was working around a lot of obstacles that she had. So it was about seeing what she needed to make her workflow more efficient and easier and less stressful for her.
Coming from an IT background, I'm really amazed at the technology that's being provided by the organisation to help Kate in her job.
In Kate's case, we trialled a couple of different things. She had some solutions, our IT team had some options. So I think we went through a couple and then we found one that's going to work for Kate.
It's not such a big hurdle. It doesn't have to be a big thing to find assistive technology.
Everyone has their own unique skill set and, maybe she needs to use the software, but she's going to have some other skill sets that potentially other people don't have. It's about tapping into what people do have and not what people don't have.
Workplaces are changing. Your well-being is included in the job.
She really brings that deep level of understanding that maybe someone new to the industry might not really think to those extra levels and steps.
Every day I will do something like, would you like some podiatry? Wouldn't that be great? And the next time you talk with them, in the next review, I'm walking with a walker. I couldn't get out of the chair before. It changes their life. And you can hear all that going on the phone. Every day, I know I make a difference in people's lives in a real way. It may be self-serving, but that makes my day worthwhile. I want to go to work every day.
Kate chatting with a colleague.
I am enjoying getting older. Every year I get happier and life means more. In Australia, the perception has been that when you get to 65, you retire. My skills are still very relevant and they're valuable to the organisation. I don't know what the next stages in life are going to be like, particularly visually. I have no idea. I went and got my white cane way before I needed it because I didn't want to try and learn while I couldn't see to use it. I like to be a bit prepared, but I still don't have any idea what it's going to be like.
Greg.
I'm just amazed at her tolerance, her bravery, her capacity just to accept it. We've discussed it and Kate's been sort of apprehensive about how it's going to affect me and our relationship, and I basically said, I'm not going anywhere. You lose your sight, I'm still going to be here for you. I'm going to be your eyes.
Jenny Hewitt.
Her age and her disability don't define her at all. It's her warmth and her total diligence. People who have various disabilities are actually perfectly suited because they have lived experience and compassion.
Kate in the office.
They're the people that are going to really be able to talk properly to our clients.
It's our responsibility to make sure that we are providing an inclusive and diverse workforce representative of Australia as a whole.
But people think, oh, so I'm working with old people. Well, duh, of course you are working with old people. But each of those people have lived a long life, and it's interesting to give them the dignity of being able to live in a way that they've lived in the past. It's an encouraging and fulfilling place to work.
Kate speaking animatedly on a call.
The perception of the way it was is unfortunately prevalent, but it's not like that now. It is and has changed.
Seated at her desk, Cate swivels around in her chair and smiles warmly. On screen, we acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which this film was made. We pay our respects to their elders past, present and emerging. This project was inclusively made. Executive producer Tanya Sim. Directed by Julian Newhouse. Producers Julian Newhouse, Tiffin Finn. An Ironbark Films production. The logo for Feros Care, Grow Bold. feroscare.com.au/smashing.